Hello guys, and for those of you that have not been diagnosed or just been recently diagnosed with bipolar, I'm going to give you a little bit of history about bipolar, and we're going to be talking about the symptoms and the treatments that some people take. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and put them down below. Please like my video and put the little bell on the side. Okay, so we're going to start off with what is bipolar. It is associated with mood swings ranging from depression to extreme highs. It's unknown the causes of bipolar, but it's been linked to genetics, environment, and altered brain chemistry. So let's say you were abused as a child, or your mother has bipolar, or your grandmother has bipolar. Chances are you're gonna have it. Or if you do drugs, that also can harm your brain's chemistry or get hit in the head. Any of those things can cause bipolar. Some of the symptoms of mania. Let's start the symptoms of mania. It's my very favorite one. Is having high energy, overspending, high sex drive, cheating, reduced need for sleep, risk-taking behaviors, which will go in hand with the cheating. Loss of touch reality. So sometimes I don't know if you, but I feel like I'm in a different world, or that whatever's happening right now isn't happening and I'm somewhere else. Like I have a made-up world in my head and I go there. We have lost touch reality, stealing, anger, anxiety, euphoria, which is extreme happiness, even though there's no reason to be happy, anger, anxiety, irritability, and many more. There are many more symptoms of the manic behavior. Manic when you're manic, you can be staying up for days on end. Sometimes I'll stay up for like 2 or 3 days, and then I will crash. Sometimes I will go shopping and spend $300 on shoes, and I don't wear them, or makeup. I have over hundreds of dollars in makeup. I have over $400 or $500 in stuffed animals, because I just buy things, or I go to the store and just put things in my cart. That's part of being bipolar. Shoplifting is also another part of mania. And then now we have the symptom of depression. Guilt. The guilt comes into play from when you're in manic phase. When you're manic, you do all these things, and then you aren't manic anymore, and that's when the depression goes. And that's when you feel the guilt of all the things you've done. You feel hopeless. You start crying. You self-harm. You get suicidal thoughts. You gain weight or lose weight because you eat too much or eat too little. These symptoms can last up to days, and from days up to months. That's right, you can have these symptoms all the way for months. My last manic symptoms lasted for 6 months. 6 months straight. And I was doing risk-taking behaviors and doing what I told you guys before. These are they affect your relationships around you. Alright, the science behind this disorder is dopamine is associated with thoughts and emotions. It also helps with body movement and motivation. So you lose the dopamine in your brain, and you get tired. You get you get your depressed thoughts. You get the suicidal thoughts. You have high in dopamine, and that's when you're in extreme highs. Then there's serotonin. It's a chemical released in your brain by your nerve cells and acts as a messenger to control your mood. So that's when you're super happy and then super angry. These treatments, okay? The best thing about this disorder is there is treatments. It's not a life sentence. I mean, it is a life sentence. There is no cure for the disorder, but there is treatments. And if you keep up with your treatments, then you can live a relatively normal life. These treatments include mental health therapy, so one-on-one therapy with your therapist, group sessions with your family members, groups with people who also have bipolar, DBT, meditation, um, also talking to your psychologist. He's another person that can help you. My psychologist will take an hour just to talk about, even though psychologists, well, I don't know, most psychologists I don't think usually try to do therapy in with your your treatment, but mine does. He asks me how my relationship was with my husband. He asks me how my relationship is with my kids, how I done the last month, what kind of things I'm eating. He takes blood tests to make sure that my levels are good. These are things that a good psychologist will make sure that happen, because you always are going to have to constantly check your levels, because sometimes your levels will be too high or too low, so they have to up or lower your dosage of medication. Okay, so now that's going into the next treatment, is medication. So medication can include depression medicine, mood stabilizers like Abilify, depression medication like I take Zoloft, or Latuda. I don't take that anymore, but I did. We also mood stabilizers said that. Okay, sometimes antipsychotics. I don't know which one those are. And the last treatment, the very last treatment that people get for bipolar disorder is hospitalization, which is important if you are really, really in a bad place, which is what happened to me. I tried to kill myself, so they hospitalized me and got me back on medication. Usually, if you're taking your meds, you don't get that kind of thought. Sometimes you do, but you don't act out on them, but some people do. And if you feel that way, you always can get in touch with your therapist, your doctor. Okay, and like I said, bipolar is not only hard on you, but it is also hard on relationships, like your spouse's relationship, your children, your family, work. For example, extreme mood swings to a normal person is very off-putting. My husband doesn't understand when I'm super, super happy, and then the next minute I'm like a raging B-word, or I'm super, super sad, and then the next thing I'm hypersexual. Any of those things happen, and my husband just doesn't understand. So it's important for them to get a support group. There are many support groups on Facebook that your family members can join. It's awesome for them to do that way. They can talk about them, how they feel about it, and then they can discuss it with other people and realize, oh crap, this is what happened, because that's what happened to me and my husband. So I went to the hospital, and I didn't know that a lot of bipolar people experience the same exact things I experienced. I just thought I was crazy, but it wasn't. It's people do that. So I sat down when I got home, and I told my husband, hey dude, a lot of people do this stuff. And he told me, while I was in the hospital, he joined a support group, and that's when he found out that a lot of men and women that are in relationships with people with bipolar end up having this experiencing the same thing with their spouses. And it's hard, but it's good for them to go, just like it's good for us to go and have our own support groups on Facebook or wherever to talk about our bipolar, because our bipolar is something that we are going to have to live with the rest of our life. There is no cure, it's just treatments. And those treatments, it's just like if you had heart disease, you would take a medication for it and go see your doctor. Well, it's important to take care of your mental health and your physical health. If one or the other goes bad, then you can have a problem. Like if you're not eating enough or whatever, your mood could be in a different way. If you're not doing stuff that's good for your mental health, your body can be affected, which is how the depression, like the oversleeping or undersleeping. You can feel like you can run a marathon when you really can't. Um, let's see. Sorry, I wrote some down. Remember, you're not alone. About 2.8% of the people, the world's population, has this disorder. There is no, like I said, there's no cures. You only can take treatments. And just always remember to take your medication and speak to your healthcare providers. That includes your therapist and your psychologist and your doctor. And sometimes they give you a crisis worker. All those people are there to help you. You need to speak to them if you're feeling depressed or if you're feeling hypermanic. Sometimes you don't even know that you're in mania. That's what I was. I was in mania the whole time, and then when I got out of mania, I was like, holy crap, that was 6 months, and I don't remember a lot of this stuff. These are scary things that happen to you. Remember, like I said, you are not alone. But it's time to say goodbye. I hope this video helps answer any questions for you newbies who just came on, who maybe just recently been diagnosed or been diagnosed for a long time. But thank you again for coming and watching my video, and you have a great day. Good night.